Warning: this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. This is your host, Ashley.
And this is Daniel.
Oh, look, you're back.
I'm back at it again. Back in the saddle, or as we like to say, on a bucket.
He's on a Yeti bucket.
I did not want to clear all the stuff out of my chair.
We are still unpacking.
This was much more convenient.
But his microphone is hooked up.
And it actually gives me better posture.
But anyway, welcome to Ghost Gossip.
Welcome to the Ghost Gossip.
Welcome. So how was your weekend?
It was wonderful. I got to spend the weekend with my bride of 2 years.
I was going to say, did you forget?
No. Tuesday will be 2 years.
Yes, Tuesday will be 2 years.
And so we took a little trip.
We did.
And you told me a place you wanted to go see.
I did.
And so I booked it and we went. So
we did.
Where did we go?
We went to the Green Park Inn in Blowing Rock, North Carolina.
Very beautiful area.
Very beautiful area.
I had never heard of the Green Park Inn before.
I heard of it through my best friend. We were talking about the Omni and how when we went, we had that little experience. And I was like, I want to visit more haunted hotels. And she goes, have you ever heard of the Green Park Inn? And I said, no, what is that? And she said, it's supposed to be one of the most haunted hotels in the area. So we were planning to go back to the Omni because we didn't get that much time at the Omni, but they were booked.
Yep.
There was something going on this weekend in Nashville.
They had Saturday and Sunday, or Saturday night available, but not Friday night. So I looked up the Green Park. They had the nights available. I got the junior suite.
The junior suite, which means?
It means you have a separate room with a chair and a couch in it.
A very tiny separate room.
Yes. And just to...
Looks like a waiting room almost.
Yes, it very much does. To give you a synopsis of the...
A synopsis
of the decor.
Oh, man, the decor.
We're going to go back to...
1891?
No.
Oh.
We're going to go back to 1978 through like 84. Grandma.
I think you're being very generous.
I'm just saying the wallpaper.
The quilt.
Yeah, that whole vibe.
Yeah, it was a vibe. It was a vibe for sure. It was an experience.
It was.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. No, it wasn't. I wouldn't say bad. It was definitely, I guess we've been spoiled going to some of these other more famously known haunted hotels. These places that we usually go to, not so much the Omni. We had no idea about the Omni.
Right.
But they don't shy away from their history and their, not folklore, but their darker past or the stories that have come out of their walls. Like with the Crescent, they lean into it. And even with the Omni, they have a book.
Yeah.
So they don't shy away from it, whereas the Green Park, they don't want you to talk about it.
Yeah, it's kind of hush-hush.
And what we found is they stare at you. Mm-hmm. Not rude, very shy, almost like they're questioning, like, why are you here?
Yeah.
And...
standoffish.
Yes.
Polite, but standoffish.
Yes. Shy would be I just come back to shy because the way they stared at us was like, young people, why are you here? Well, there was a lot of older.
Yeah, I didn't see many.
The mayor?
Yeah, the mayor was there when we arrived at 10 o'clock at night.
They called us to make sure that we were going to make a curfew. We got there eventually. Did not know we had to be there at a certain time.
Was not aware either.
Nope, me neither. That was a surprise.
But as we talked about it this morning at breakfast, it wasn't really no encounters or anything.
No.
But there was definitely a sense.
A vibe.
There was definitely a vibe.
It was a vibe.
A sense that it wasn't very busy there.
No, it didn't seem like it was busy at all. But we saw people.
But it felt like it was bustling.
Right. It felt like we were in the middle of the busiest time of year. Mm-hmm. But when I say we saw people, we would see people. So it's not like we were the only people there.
People.
Yes, we saw alive people. We didn't see any dead people. But we would see people while we were there. It wasn't crowded.
At all.
However, it felt like we were in the middle of a very crowded space.
Yeah, it felt like we were in the middle of a hustle and bustle.
Like you said at breakfast, like you look up and you expect to see somebody, but there's nobody there.
Yeah.
So just a little background on the Green Park Inn. It opened in the summer of 1891 to offer a more comfortable summer home to its guests. Located in Blowing Rock, the original building was 73,000 square feet. It had 60 guest rooms at the time, furnished with fireplaces. We did not have a fireplace, did we? Running water and electric bell alarms. What's that? Is that what people would push to get like bell service or something like that?
Yeah, it's a 2-wire system.
It contained 3 levels, a restaurant, a bar, which they're both still present today, and hot and cold bath amenities. A ballroom, billiard room, bowling alley, did not see those, shooting gallery, tennis court, and a telegraph and a post office for public use.
We did see
We saw the we saw the boxes
Yeah.
that used to be the post
At
office.
least some of them.
Yes. The Green Park Inn stands as the last of the Grand Manor hotels in all of Western North Carolina, as well as the state's second oldest operating resort hotel. I wonder if the Omni's the first oldest.
Probably.
Well, the Omni didn't open until 1913,
Oh, that's right.
so
Yeah.
maybe not.
Maybe not.
I wonder what's older
We
than
need to find the older one.
We'll find that out.
Yeah.
According to the Washington Post, the Green Park Inn is in the top 13 most haunted hotels in the United States. So apparently it's super, super haunted.
I can't say it felt haunted. It just felt like there was a lot going on when there wasn't really a lot going on.
There was nothing going on.
And it just had the only word I keep coming back to is creep.
It was very creepy. So I disagree. When he says it doesn't feel haunted, he's not sensitive like I am. When we came into the hotel lobby, it wasn't as bad. But when we got to the 3rd floor, because Daniel pushed the 3rd floor and then the 2nd floor, and I was like, oh, we're going to go to the 3rd floor. And he's like, no, I pushed the 2nd. This elevator wasn't like your typical everyday elevator. We didn't stop at the 2nd floor. We went to the 3rd floor. It was like one track mind. He hit that first. That's where we went. The doors opened to room 318, which is the room where somebody unalived herself. And then we went to the 2nd floor. When we got off the elevator, half the lights were not working. It was very ominous. That one hall that we thought our room was at the end, there were no lights.
Yeah.
It was super creepy. And it wasn't like it was dark because the bulbs were out, but it wasn't like evil dark, but it just set the scene to feel creepy with half the bulbs out and the other bulbs just not really that bright. And then you walk down this ramp, half staircase. And then our room was on the right. We stayed in 229. And then we walk in and I instantly was like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
My skin was alive with goosebumps. Like Daniel doesn't feel it, but like I told him, it's just like a lot of energy. It's like putting your hand on, what are those, like electro...
They're like little balls with the electricity.
The static electricity. Yeah. And it just feels like all of that static going into your body all at once. That's how I was feeling at the time. And he's like, what? There's nothing.
Yeah, I didn't feel that. Honestly, I didn't feel the creepiness, the hustle and bustle until yesterday afternoon.
What happened yesterday afternoon?
Just when we got back, that's when I kind of started picking up on it, feeling that.
Yeah.
And then definitely this morning.
This morning was weird in the ballroom when we were eating breakfast, and that knock or that ting, it was like a consistent ting.
I think it was someone putting up plates, but it was...
I do too, but it was very weird.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like somebody was hurrying to put plates away. It was ding.
What was crazy to me
Ding.
is like when we went in there to eat yesterday morning and this morning, it felt like every table was full.
And
There was...
yesterday there was 3 tables.
And then today there was just one other table.
Which might have been ghost hunters.
But it literally felt like there were multiple people at every single table. That's how it felt.
Yes, it felt very crowded when there was nobody there. So according to some websites that I looked at, there's actually a ghost log, and people can report paranormal activity in this ghost log, or they can look at it. It was nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't see it. We thought maybe you had to ask for it, but I didn't.
But I did not feel comfortable walking to the counter and being like, hey, can I see your ghost log?
Yeah, no.
Because yes, if you go there, there's a ghost log somewhere and you can actually read about some of the hauntings. Now, from what I read, the most widespread and well-known haunting is that of Laura Green. She was the founder's daughter. She was having a wedding there at the hotel, and her groom stood her up. He did not show up. And after she realized that she was not getting married, she was humiliated and went to room 318 and hung herself. She was later found in that room. From what I have read, they do not, like I said before, they do not like to advertise paranormal. They believe that it makes other guests feel uncomfortable. So that at a time where his name is Chill Clinton is what I read. And he said at the time when he called to ask, they were not renting out room 318 because they did not want to encourage. They wanted to dissuade paranormal enthusiasts, and they were trying not to draw attention to the room. So they have taken efforts to not bring attention to themselves because I guess they believe that it makes their other guests feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I believe that there's a lot of older people that
hang out there.
That hang out there, that stay there, that are probably regular guests and visitors there. And that's probably who is influencing a lot of those decisions.
I think you're right, because I believe the mayor was there both nights. Yeah. I think he was there when we got there on Friday. And I think he was in the lobby when we were leaving to go to dinner Saturday. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe that is the bar that is still open. I believe that is a hot spot for the locals. It's a hopping place. Because she told us you need to make a reservation. And when we walked by there was nobody there.
Yeah, and I think to me that just adds to the sense that I think we both got of being a lot of energy, but really just kind of stale.
It was very stale. It was thick.
Yeah, it was like it had nowhere to go.
Yes, it had nowhere to go, and nobody's talking about it. And so the energy is just kind of, it's not alive. It's just kind of stagnant within its walls. And then people come in trying to find it. Now, I'm not saying that they don't allow people to ghost hunt there, because the websites I've read, they have definitely allowed people in the past, but they have said it makes their guests feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I respect that. I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm just a sensitive woman who enjoys the paranormal, and my husband is very supportive and likes to come with me and finds it fascinating. And so we wandered the halls. We spent Saturday just going all around Blowing Rock, and then we came back and went out to dinner to celebrate our anniversary. And
that restaurant is fabulous, by the way, if you're in Blowing Rock, or it's actually in Boone.
Do you remember the name?
Casa Rustica.
Casa Rustica. Brooke was our server. She was amazing.
Yep.
But
great food.
Great food. It was great. I had to throw away my carbonara.
It's an Italian place.
And had to throw it away because there was no fridge in the room, so we had to throw it away when we got back. But
I would definitely love to hear someone else's take who has visited there recently and just see what kind of sense they get of the place.
Well, from what I have read, people definitely say it is one of the most haunted places, but there's a lot of people that talk about it. They're like, we've been many times and never had a personal experience, but that place is creepy.
Yeah, that's kind of what we felt.
Yes, it was really creepy, and not like a bad creepy, but
just stale.
It wasn't like, I have felt unwelcome in places before. And it wasn't that I was unwelcome, but it was almost like
I didn't belong.
Yes, I stood out. Who are you? What are you doing here? Saturday for me wasn't as bad, but I had trouble sleeping both nights. Saturday afternoon, Daniel had taken a nap, and I was just laying there with my eyes closed. And I heard the loudest noise, and it jolted me out of bed.
Did not hear it.
He didn't hear it. So I know it wasn't in my head, but it sounded almost like a plane crash. It was so loud.
It may have been something out back in one of those buildings behind where
that's terrifying if that was the case, because I'm like, but it sounded like a plane crash. It was so loud, and I wasn't asleep, but I had my eyes closed. It scared me where I jumped out of bed, and I look over at Daniel because I'm thinking he had to hear that. He wasn't moving.
I didn't move.
He didn't move.
So, yeah, it was creepy.
It was very creepy, but they had wonderful sprinkler systems.
Oh, yes. If there was a fire, those pipes are coming in clutch. Yep.
That's what I told Daniel. I'm like, he's so funny. And I always tell him when I get him on the microphone, he kind of freezes up and he goes into must just tell information mode. And he just, all his humor, he just kind of pauses, because when we were there, he was cracking me up. He's so funny.
This is a professional podcast.
It is not. It really is not a professional podcast. I
have to bring the serious.
No, you don't.
You know what? Somebody has to bring balance to this thing. Balance.
Browance? What's Browance, babe?
Somebody has to be at the front of this.
Oh, wow.
And bring balance.
Wow. Okay.
To this.
Are you going to edit this later?
No.
Okay. You going to post it?
No.
You going to type up the caption?
No.
Post on TikTok and Instagram?
No.
And cater to our 10 listeners? I love all of you.
No.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're at the front of this. I appreciate you.
I think you know what I was referring to.
I am a one-woman show
I
here.
think you know what I was referring to.
He just brings the good looks.
Yes, that is true. But you're better looking.
I'm better looking. Well, I will say that I typed all of this up and then we haven't even read it. But so can I get to some of the other hauntings?
Hey, this is your show.
I know.
I'm just here as a
whispering
counterbalance.
A whispering co-host.
Do
you see how small your lines are? And see how big
I take personal offense to that.
Look how small your lines are. Size matters.
It's how you use it.
Well, project some. I know you can. The kids say he's really loud. He is very loud. But anyway, guests report seeing a woman in a wedding dress walking up and down the halls. The voices of children have also been reported to be heard, as well as shadow people walking through walls, and like mist, and also electronics turning on and off. And there is a report of a woman looking out of the window of the Victorian suite.
That window was
a little open,
and it was weird because that window is facing the hallway.
Oh, and the end of the hall.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the suites. Remember?
That's one of the suites.
Yeah.
Oh God. That was the creepiest. I told you I looked at that window and it felt like somebody's standing in that window. Yeah. Any kind of building that has a window on the... Remember that house we looked at when we were looking for houses all those years ago? And there was a window on the inside of the house because they had added on. It was a rental and I was like, I don't like the energy in this house. Yeah. See, I'm weird.
The carpet was really dirty too and the walls were smudgy.
In that house? Mm-hmm. Or the hotel?
No.
The hotel was a little dingy.
The hotel was a little dingy.
If you're looking to go there for elegance and for...
Nope.
Look elsewhere. Go to the Omni.
Yeah. There looked like there were some nice like condo type buildings on the golf course right beside the Green Park Inn.
Yeah, but I don't believe those are...
There's probably some rentals in there for sure.
I'm sure there's rentals, but I don't think that's part of the Green Park Inn.
No, it's not part of the Green Park Inn, but the golf course is part of the Green Park Inn.
Did you think that there were some similarities between the Crescent and the Green Park Inn? The rooms were similar. The rooms minus were similar. The waiting room.
The interior designing was similar.
Probably signs of the time that they were both built.
Yeah, so that was really the only similarities that I would say that I thought existed. Mm-hmm. To me, though, the Crescent wasn't near as creepy.
No, it really wasn't. We felt very welcome at the Crescent.
Yeah, there was definitely a different vibe between the Crescent and the Green Park. The Green Park, it just felt really creepy. I know we keep saying that, but I don't know if it can be overstated. I recorded a video when we first walked in. We stayed in room 229, and I recorded a video because my body was just alive with that energy, and it was just very uncomfortable. It took me almost 3 hours to fall asleep. Now that's not so unheard of for me because I have insomnia, but I felt, when I say I'm not scared of the dark, but it was so dark in that room. Like, he turned the lights off and I was like, no, turn them back on. It was so dark that, and usually with hotels, behind the building, in front of the building, there's usually street lights. There were no street lights. And then the hall lights, the bulbs were all dim and half of them were burnt out. So there wasn't a lot of light coming through the door. And there was just, so when you turn the light off, he goes to bed within 2 minutes. I knew I was going to be alone in that room. And the air conditioner was really creepy and making noise. The fan was just like a thunk, and he was just snoring within minutes. And I was just like, I am alone in the dark by myself and my husband's asleep in a haunted hotel. Why do I do this to myself? What am I doing? Where have I gone wrong in my life? But once I fell asleep, I was asleep. It was so creepy. Mm-hmm. It was the closet with the other little door that went to the other room. Then you can hear the people next to us talking. And at one point, Daniel goes, I hear voices, but I'm pretty sure they're in the hallway. What? I heard something. Pretty sure it's people in the hallway. I think it was those people getting into the room.
I hope so. I mean, it doesn't bother me either way, but it was just, with the Crescent, with the Omni, they weren't creepy. Mm-mm. Even the little elevator behind the fireplace at the Omni, it wasn't creepy.
No, it was cool.
It was very cool. This hotel, there's a creep factor. Mm-hmm. So today, I turned on my Spirit Talker app. I am very skeptical with apps. And I never really used them, but I forgot all of my equipment that I wanted to bring, which worked out because it probably wouldn't have worked anyway because of the awesome sprinkler system in the room. But we turned on the Spirit Talker app, and within minutes...
Mm-hmm.
Dude, can you help? So it wasn't talking to me. Daniel's sitting there just with his feet up. And I'm like, hey, it said, dude, can you help?
I'm like, what's up?
And then we got the name Mary Ann. and Ron. It said that there was a child, said that there was a little boy around you. And then, I mean, in the room,
enjoyed talking to us.
I'm learning how to use this.
It was actually a coherent conversation.
Yes. So, I mean,
it wasn't like you really had to read into it. I mean, no. I know on those things you can.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some episodes where people were like, oh, so you died in war and you were murdered. I'm like, wait, he just said hello.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but this actually, as we were talking to it and responding to it, not everything that came back was, but overall, the overall gist did flow somewhat.
It really did. And it was funny because when we were in the bedroom talking to it, definitely felt like it was talking more to Daniel. And it was like, I'm learning how to use this, or I'm enjoying talking, which I've seen ghost hunter shows, and that's something that's quite common to come out of there.
Yeah.
But when we went to the third floor to wander around to see if they had displays, kind of like the Omni and like the Crescent, they had like displays on each floor with history. So we walked around looking for this. There's nothing. But we had gone to the window next to room 318, and it said a little. And I'm looking at the phone, and there was a man with really strong cologne. So we were trying not to like gag.
No, that wasn't him. That was somebody from in one of those rooms.
Oh, I thought it was the person that was standing at the elevator.
No, that was coming from somebody's room.
That was horrible. I don't know how they survived. It was like fumigating cologne out of the room. But maybe that's why the window was open. We were standing in front of this window, and the spirit talker says a little. Daniel looks up, and the window is cracked.
It's the top.
A little.
It's the top window.
Window.
It wasn't like the bottom was raised up. I just noticed that
the top of the window.
Yeah, the top part of the window was down below the top of the bottom window, and so
it was open a little.
Yep. So I pushed it up.
He closed the window because it was open a little, and then we walked past room 318, and the spirit talker said, come back.
Yep.
And so we turned around and we went back. We told her, we had to leave. And as we were leaving, it said I was conjured and all this other crap. It's like, or I'm attached. I'm like, oh yeah, you're not attached to me, but you can be attached to this building all you want. But we said bye, and it said something right before we left. I can't really remember what it said, but it said something right before we left, and it was like, oh, okay. And then, and that was kind of how we closed out our weekend at the Green Park Inn. It was interesting. Mm-hmm. I highly recommend, if you're into this, go for it. Go check it out.
But if you're taking a day trip to Blowing Rock and want to spend the night, spend the night there.
Ask for 318 and see if they give it to you, because I don't know if they will or not.
I don't know. But
I'm interested to hear if you've had your own experiences. And I always ask, reach out to me, because I really genuinely want to hear other people's experiences, because, our experiences are just ours.
Or any other places to go.
Oh, absolutely, because this is kind of what I want to do every so often, go and check these places out and tell you how we feel about them.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very interesting. I'm glad we went. I will close with this. They do not promote their ghost experiences, like I said, but their motto is, we respect the privacy of all of our guests, whether or not they've ever checked out. And I thought that was pretty cool, because they are acknowledging something in some kind of capacity that there's something there.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area, definitely go check it out and let me know what you think. If you stay there, you get a little breakfast card.
Breakfast is good.
Breakfast was amazing. The food was really good.
Yeah.
But go and check out the Chestnut restaurant and see if it feels busy to you. Now, if it's packed, then of course it feels busy. But we were literally one of the only other tables in there this morning. And it definitely felt like there were people surrounding us. Like our waiter this morning, every time she came out, she ran into the table, almost like she was walking around somebody.
Yeah.
Every time. And I wanted to tell her, that table just gets right in your way. Yeah. Thank you for taking me to Blowing Rock for our anniversary.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed our time together.
Me too.
Very, very much.
Me too. Also, if you're going there, take an extra towel or two, because they won't give you more than two.
Nope.
And one roll of toilet paper. That's it. That's all you get.
Found out that the hard way.
Don't ask me how I know. That was. Hello, this is room 229. May we have some more toilet paper, please?
My husband is
stranded in the toilet.
My legs were going numb. That toilet was not made for a man my size.
It was a small toilet. It was, like I said, it was like time left that hotel back in many decades ago.
Yes.
It seems untouched. When you walk through those swinging doors, you are stepping back in time.
Definitely worth going and checking out. Definitely, most definitely.
For sure. Glad I went.
I love you, and happy anniversary.
I love you too. Happy anniversary. Thank you for supporting my crazy.
Absolutely. I love your crazy.
I love your crazy. And thank you for listening. And I know that this is a small podcast, and I don't have all the listens or the follows, and I don't do it for that. I do it because I get to spend time with my husband. We do have a really good time going to these places, and I have a great time talking to people and getting their stories. Love hearing about it. So to all my followers and my listeners, thank you so much, and I love you. And as always, they'll see you later.